Hey everybody, how's it going? As you can see in front of me, we finally got our diff back from the shop. A few videos ago we took it out of the Z and I sent it out to get rebuilt. So what they did is they completely took everything apart. They got all of the bearings and races and seals out and they replaced it all pretty much. Over here I have the old pinion bearings and they definitely had some wear on them, so I'm glad those got replaced. Obviously the Kaaz Super-Q diff is now installed, and I'm hoping that this diff is going to be nice and quiet because it's pretty much brand new now. But before we can get it into the car, we have to take off this old cover because we're going to be putting on the fin cover. So what I'm going to be doing is getting this cleaned up and painted, then we can get it sealed and bolted back onto the diff here, and then we can get our mount on and get it back into the car. Alright, so we got our rear cover all painted up. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for now. We also got it sealed and bolted to the back of the diff. So while the silicone is drying, we can go ahead and get our diff mount bolted onto the back. So like I mentioned before, this is the Z31 V2 mount. It's a polyurethane mount with a heavy-duty casing to go with it. And I did have this on the diff before I took it out. However, this is a brand new bushing. This was actually the one I was using before, and the reason why I'm swapping them, they're the exact same thing. This one is detached from the middle here, so I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm going to pull and push on these two bolts, and I don't know if you can see that movement there, but it's definitely not solid like this one was. And the reason for that is because I lifted the rear of the car up from the diff a while back when I was doing my subframe, and I guess it's just not designed the same way as the OEM diff is, and it kind of, I guess, stretched it out. So I'll be using this one to put it back together, and I'm going to quickly time-lapse through getting everything bolted onto the back, and then the diff is pretty much ready to go back in. Alright, so there's our mount. It's all bolted to the diff. I do have it a little bit loose just to make it easier to get into the car, but everything's looking good, all nice and black, and we're pretty much all finished up down here. So now I'm just going to bring it outside and we'll get ready to get it into the car. So we got the diff outside now, and I have the drive shaft that we're going to be using. This is the Shaftmaster's aluminum drive shaft. We also have some brand new Nissan OEM bolts. And before we get everything in, or before we get the diff in, we got to get the drive shaft in first. So there's the heat shield that was there. We're going to slide this into the back of the transmission and use that shield to prop it up, and then the diff will be set to go in. Alright, so last night we finished up the diff. It was getting a little dark, so I didn't really have a chance to film much, but the car is finally off the jack stands and on the ground. We did get a lot of the things done, just the boring stuff, getting the exhaust on and whatnot. But that completes pretty much our drivetrain overhaul. I'm still doing a few things under the hood. I did an oil change earlier, and I'm just checking over to make sure there's no leaks and whatnot. But hopefully in the next video you guys will be able to see the car in action, and we can go over how the shifter feels and how the diff feels. So until then guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.